Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get that cash machine printing because it's the new year, and the first thing we got for 2019, the first big thing, is Han's Millennium Falcon. You heard the news by now. Millennium Falcon is coming very shortly as a legendary event that requires 4 bounty hunter ships, and today we have kit information and gameplay showing off the second legendary ship we are getting to Galaxy of Heroes. And my goodness, the ship is pretty much required to be ran in a rebel type of lineup, and it just decimates the other team. That Houndstooth you're farming, goodbye. Han takes care of it. If you have Empire ships, goodbye. Han's gonna take care of that. Simply an amazing ship, and we're gonna share my thoughts in a second, but guys, let's just get into this and start talking about what Han's Millennium Falcon is gonna offer for the game. This ship is pretty much mandatory to work with the Home 1 ship. The Home 1's the least used ship in Fleet Arena right now, and the Ghost and Phantom 150%. They're just amazing with Han's ship, as we're gonna see here. So before I explain why this is as good as it is, let's look at this kit, and you're gonna start realizing that Rebels are gonna become the new dominant faction for Fleet Arena. Starting off with the basic special modifications, deal physical damage to a target enemy, and this is the crazy part, you call another Rebel ally to assist, guaranteed assist, 100% chance to call Rebel ally to assist, and inflict target lock for 2 turns on a critical hit. So get those critical hits, which is going to happen quite a lot with Han Solo. And here's an even better part, which pretty much screams, use me with Akbar. If the allied capital ship is a rebel, which is only Akbar at the time being, dispel all buffs on a target enemy. So much is jam-packed into this basic, and this basic is so powerful when you consider how the other rebel ships work. There's a lot of times where instead of using the next special ability that we're going to see in a few minutes with this AoE, you might just opt in to use this basic attack. So you call someone to assist, maybe you call Biggs to assist, and target lock gets applied. There are so many endless possibilities, and when you consider how other rebel ships work, let's say Hera's ship, for example, she can call someone to assist on her own, call him the Millennium Falcon. So Hera's going to call the Millennium Falcon's going to assist, and because the Millennium Falcon has a 100% chance to call a Rebel to assist, you can call another ship to assist. So that assist that Hera just did, just called in a bunch of other assists. And if you strategize it perfectly, let's say your starting lineup only consists of 1 other Rebel ship and you have the Houndstooth in there, well, every time Han is calling someone to assist, it's always going to be that 1 Rebel ship over and over again. So there's a lot of endless possibilities with this, and this is reason number 1 why you want to use Han in a Rebel lineup, because of all the assists and because of the Dispel on the basic, which the Dispel is really going to mess up Houndstooth because you're constantly removing that protection up, and after he removes protection up on his basic, he's calling a Rebel to assist, so the next attack is going straight for the Houndstooth health and protection, and you're going to quickly churn through the Houndstooth. The Houndstooth is taking a serious beating from Han Solo, as we're going to see. Moving on to the first special ability. Watch this. Has a cooldown of 3, and the craziness just keeps going on and on and on. The Falcon, first of all, is going to dispel all debuffs from themselves, recover 50% health and protection, kind of like what Commander Luke Skywalker does, and you're going to gain a new unique buff called Outmaneuver for 3 turns, can't be copied, and additionally, you're going to get 35% turn rate for each Rebel ally and Empire enemy, and seeing how the Empire is one of the more dominant factions in Fleet Arena, you're going to see quite a lot of Empire enemies, at least for now, until Han Solo starts clearing them out of the meta. And then what does Outmaneuver do? You get plus 25% evasion, but it doesn't end there. You can't be targeted while other allies are present. So AoE abilities will still hit Han Solo, assuming you can get through the evasion he's getting, but you can't manually select to attack Han Solo. So he's going to be a hard ship to take out, and as I showed from an earlier screenshot, his health and protection isn't even that low. So between not being targeted and then the evasion and then all this other stuff, he's not going to be a super easy ship to take out. And when you have Han Solo take his turn, you want to use this ability right away depending on your lineup, because he's getting 35% turn meter for all the ships, all the Rebel ally ships on his side and the enemy Empire ships on the other side. So usually, depending on what your lineup is and the opposing lineup is, he can take an immediate turn right afterwards and transition either to using his basic or his next ability that we're going to see here, which is called Punch It. Has a 4-turn cooldown, and it doesn't look all that crazy, but let's read it. Deal physical damage to all enemies and grant all allies defense penetration up for 2 turns, and this attack deals 25% more damage for each dark side and each Empire enemy. So if you're an Empire, you're automatically dark side, so I presume that's 50% bonus damage for 1 Empire ship because they have both of the tags, And when you have Houndstooth and all the bounty hunters that are running rampant and fleetering up, this AoE ability, the main highlight is really the massive amounts of damage that it can do for all these dark side Empire ships on the other side. And then the defense penetration up will become very handy because the rebels are going to rely on a bunch of assists from Han Solo. So when Han Solo is calling someone to assist, they have defense penetration up, so they're going to quickly punch through ships like the Houndstooth. When Han removes the buff for the protection up from the Houndstooth and the taunt, someone's going to follow up with defense penetration up, hit them hard, and you're going to blow through teams. It's absolute carnage seeing the amount of damage that's flying around an arena. But oftentimes, and I noticed that the developer who recorded footage kind of correctly did this, at times they could have used the AoE ability, but looking at the situation, you just might want to go straight for the basic because you get the target lock, you're getting the buff dispelling, you get the assist. It might be beneficial to just use the basic instead of the AoE ability all the time. It really depends on the situational thing. If you're stuck behind a taunt that keeps reappearing, let's say for example Houndstooth taunt keeps reappearing, you got to get to someone who's almost down, that might be when the AoE ability will be helpful to get around the taunt. But overall, there's times where the basic looks to be more beneficial to use than this ability right here. And then the unique ability, she may not look like much, and all allies gain 10% critical chance, and what do you know, doubled for rebel allies. And then the Falcon has a plus 50% chance to assist whenever another rebel ally uses an ability during their turn. I'll just hold that thought, we'll get to that in a moment. And whenever an ally reinforces, the Falcon grants them accuracy up for 2 turns, and if that ally is a rebel, they also gain critical damage up for 2 turns. And we're not done yet. Additionally, when another rebel ally is inflicted with 3 or more different debuffs, the Falcon dispels all debuffs on them. My goodness, a lot of stuff jam-packed in there. Let's kind of break this up a little bit and explain the significance of each of these clauses. So first of all, again, rebels are going to get a lot of critical damage attacks, so 20% extra critical chance from Han Solo for rebels. That right there is great on its own. But here's something really good. It kind of reminds me of how Chewbacca constantly assists other people who are guarded. We kind of see that here, but a 50% chance to assist a rebel ally whenever they use any sort of ability. That could be a capital ship, such as Akbar, or someone else. So let's say, for example, we talked about Hera's ship. She calls Han Solo to assist. Han Solo uses a basic and then calls Hera to assist again, or whatever rebel ships you might have on there. But when Hera's using the ability, she has a chance to trigger Han Solo's assist. So right there, you can get 2 assists from Han Solo, if that kind of makes sense right there. So a lot of assisting opportunities because there's so many assist abilities going on for rebels, whether it's Hera, Akbar calling people to assist. It can just become a mess of mass assist attack, and you see this be super significant where Akbar, when he uses his big ability to call everyone to assist, at times you can instantly wipe out a ship on the other team. There's a clip somewhere where the Slave One just reinforces on the other side and just absolutely wipes out the Slave One because of all the bonus assists that Han Solo is triggering and the assists he's doing himself. It's a mess of a situation, and you're gonna blow through enemy ships with Han Solo. And then the last thing that is very interesting is that the debuff cleansing that the ships can get for themselves. So it's very easy to get debuffs. You have buff immunity, you have target lock, you got offense down, speed down, you got damage over time. There are a lot of debuffs in the game. So once 3 are accrued on a rebel ship, they're gonna cleanse it. So let's say Biggs had buff immunity, target lock, and damage over time. Though that's 3 debuffs, he cleanses it all. But the thing is, if there's Darth Vader on the other side, if target lock is cleansed, it just reappears. So you might notice that from the footage. Although there's target lock, Vader can keep making it reappear over and over again. But regardless, being able to cleanse after such a low threshold of debuffs right there, that's going to help your rebel ships stay active and survive the battle. And lastly, it looks like they couldn't get the Google sponsorship, so Yahoo, horrible joke, decided to come in here and give us a reinforcement name. What it says is grant all other allies foresight for 2 turns and call all rebel allies to assist. The assist, my goodness. Additionally, reduce the cooldowns of all allied rebel capital ships by 1 for all abilities except the the ability to call in a reinforcement. So it sounds good, man, but I don't know. It seems like you want Han in the battle like as soon as possible. If you really want Han in the reinforcement slot, maybe put him in the first slot, but it seems like right now you want Han to just be there right away at the start of the battle so he can do all this crazy shenanigans. But it's definitely a decent reinforcement ability. It seems like in the direction we're going, rebel ships are going to keep getting better and better. Maybe new capital ships in the future for the Rebel Alliance. So maybe this reinforcement ability will look better in the future. But right now, I don't know, it just seems like his kit overall makes him too good to leave behind the reinforcement lineup. But if you do put him in there, I'm pretty sure there's ways to use him. But man, this is the shit that you want to just pile up with the rebels as soon as possible. So I kind of already gave my thoughts as I was going through, but let's just kind of summarize some of the thoughts I said and kind of add on top of that. But basically, this ship, I said already in an earlier video that even though it's a legendary ship, it's definitely a pay-to-play ship. It's really hard to have all the bounty hunter ships at 7 stars right now to get a 7-star Millennium Falcon, unless you spent the money. But seeing how ships aren't that important in the game, unlike, let's say, Revan or some characters or C-3PO, where you need a 7-star ship or a 7-star character to access the heroic grades with them, with ships and how they're very contained in fleet arena and territory battles and other things that don't really require ship star count, a 5-star Millennium Falcon, I think, is going to be almost just as good as a 7-star Millennium Falcon. And seeing that there's no raid for ships at this point, not a lot of reason to dump money and max out the ship right away. So if you're going to only get the ship to 5 stars like I will, I think it's going to be a tremendous addition to your fleet with an exception. And that exception is you gotta have a good rebel fleet, I think. So much rebel synergy going on that I don't quite know if this ship will really be that beneficial in a non-rebel capital ship lineup or a team that has very little rebels on the team. It seems like he is designed to just supercharge the rebel alliance to dominate fleet arena. Take Akbar from being the worst leader right now to making him the best capital ship in the game. Other than that, that's kind of the biggest issue, is that do you want to start maxing out all these rebel ships? Because it looks like a complete rebel lineup is going to be one of the best teams in the game to use, and that's a lot of investment to invest in some lesser used rebels such as Biston and all those other guys. But man, if you do like fleet arena, and fleet arena is your bread and butter, and if you have rebels geared up all the way to have your ships be powerful, this is the way to go. Han and a bunch of rebels is just going to own the game. But you guys let me know down below, is this going to pique your interest in ships? Will you get this ship? Let me know down below. It's going to be a crazy one indeed, and I'm interested to see how this will affect ships going forward. If you did enjoy the video, you guys know the drill. Hit that like button, comment down below, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And until the next video.
Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, 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 down. Party Richter, Party Richter. Son of a bitch. Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, down, down.